Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start today's video, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope your day is going way better than fantastic. And your journey to self-betterment is going way better than fantastic as well. Today, I wanted to talk about something very important. And if you watched my last video, you will get and understand why it's important to slow things down and digest the entire message. Not to rush to what we think is being meant or said. Because in the slowing down and digesting process of such information, can we start to see how this information aligns with not only the surface level of the story, but how it relates to not only our lives, but how narcissists in society gain a foothold and control over everyone. And this story that we are talking about is the story of how Britney Spears reveals why she basically went no contact. Or as she puts it, never wanting to see her family again. You see, there is likely a lot going on here than just no contact. But it also goes back to what we talked about in many of my other videos. Especially in my last video. And someone put in the comments section about our beloved and since passed on sister in this struggle against narcissistic abuse. Angie Atkinson called some of the behaviors and tics we likely picked up that we might not even know we have, as a result of being raised by narcissists, borderlines, sociopaths and psychopaths, as being fleas. Now yes, we have love and they don't. We have empathy and they don't. But when you are gaslit at every corner and turn, and manipulated, denied love, praised one second and horribly criticized for seemingly no reason the next, it can create a schism in one's personality, where it can at times mimic or look like someone that has narcissistic personality disorder or borderline personality disorder. Even Sam Vaknin has spoke about this. Actually on many occasions. On how someone that has been horribly abused by a narcissist or borderline can, without the victim realizing it, take on a few of the same traits as their abuser. And I've mentioned this before as a way for us to help ourselves in the self-healing process. Because these tics and personality irregularities can be a turn-off to those that are healthy, and can be a signal to a narcissist we are ripe prey. Now with that being said, there is no excuse for a narcissist abusing us. None. But if you look back in time and remember a few things you said and did, and you aren't second-guessing yourself, that's not what we are talking about. But without hesitation, no second-guessing, you genuinely cringe and feel embarrassed for something you said or did. If you look back even further, you might remember seeing your narcissist mother or father doing the same thing. Or it might have been your unique way to cope with the horrible mental torture you were going through. And it's that self-reflection that allows you to not second-guess yourself, but to better yourself. You see, there is a difference. The narcissist wants you to second-guess everything about you, which can in itself create personality issues and problems in such a victim. But if you look back at something you really know for a fact, oh wow, that was really stupid, I said and did all of that. Or wow, I can't believe I used to react to things in that manner. This is a clear sign that you are either changing or have changed for the better, or you are laying the groundwork to change for the better. Hence Britney Spears. Look, she's a super beautiful woman. And when she's just sitting with someone talking, she seems super nice. But from her antics and behavior it's clear she has some mental issues. But my question is, how did these mental issues become a thing for her? And this goes into the reason why she said she never wanted to see her family again. Apparently during the worldwide health crisis. Let's put it that way. That happened a few years ago. Britney states her parents weren't answering her calls. So she went to her parents' home. And realized they had thrown away her prized doll collection that meant a lot to her. And all of her notebooks from years ago that had her poetry and other writing in it. And this made her see and understand. They threw these things that were important to her away. Just like they threw her away. And I will add. Likely how they threw her away many times over the years. When she was a kid growing up. But their hand was likely out to take her money every chance they could. I've said before, the narcissist is the same no matter they be rich or poor. They might switch up their tactics a bit. But it's the same. It's all about sabotaging their children so they can't have a proper life. And so they carry this pain and anxiety and depression and sadness with them everywhere they go. And all of this receiving no love from their parent or parents. Creates schisms and issues in one's personality at best, and at worst can create full-blown mental illnesses. To where all the person has is one narcissist after the next using them. Pretending to be their friend or to care about them or to understand them. Then boom. Their mask slips too. And you find out they are a full-blown narcissist just trying to get and drain your life energy from you. You see. When you grow up with monster parents that pretend to be angels. It leaves scars and marks you can't see but that hurt more than one could ever believe. For many of us. We do not know what it's like to have someone hug us and mean it. To really mean it. To stand up and fight for us because we are their child. But then you have the whole child star thing. And these greedy parents push their children on stage and take their money. They pretend to be parent of the year. Meanwhile their child is going unloved. Gary Coleman. I talked about him many years ago on this channel. When he was allegedly pushed down the stairs from his terrible wife. And then she pulled the plug on him in the hospital. To where he died and she took the last bit of money he had. Allegedly. But how did Gary Coleman, the man that played Arnold Jackson from Different Strokes, how did he get where he was at? He was forced to work a week or two after having kidney transplant surgery. You can't make this stuff up. His parents didn't stand up for him to the studios. Using the leverage that he was the #1 superstar on television, adult or child at that time. They could have written in the storyline that he was sent off on vacation or a special school for one of his many talents in the show. To give him a little more time to heal. Nope. He's got to work. And from the $18 million he made on that show, his parents nearly stole all of it away from him. That man didn't feel loved by anyone. And what happens when that happens? Even if you are a loving and decent person, it can create a warp in your personality. Look. I believe Britney is correct. They threw those items away because they meant nothing to them. Just like she meant nothing to them. And how she was thrown away. Because you are only good to a narcissist for what you can produce at this second. It's minute to minute for the narcissist. You could give the narcissist a bar of solid gold and a minute later they will say you never do anything good for them. Which is them trying to get you to get on that never-ending hamster wheel, trying to prove your worth and love to them. When they don't love you or care for you back. And when this treatment is coming from a parent or parents, it's so hard. It can literally cripple a person's life. And then you have Britney years ago ending up with one of her background dancers. I believe he noticed she was lacking many things and he swooped in and pretended to fill those empty areas of her life. She seems like she doesn't care much about money. And she tried to date someone that had way less than her. But because she is super famous and it's hard to hide her wealth. And because she hadn't done the self-work. Heck, at the time she probably didn't even know what self-work was. And before she knew it she was tangled up in a mess. Yes. I believe Britney, sadly, and I do mean sadly. She has a lot of emotional and mental problems. But how and where did she get these from? I think she knows. Because she's cutting ties with the people that likely did this to her. Narcissist parents want you to be just as screwed up as they are. And they don't want you to succeed at life. If you have all of the money, they want you to be an emotional wreck. If you have figured yourself out, they want you to be unable to support yourself financially. The narcissist's job is to keep your life off balance in one way or another forever. And when we look at society, and those that run this planet, isn't that the very playbook they seem to use? You see, all the rulers of our world are just higher profile versions of our mothers, fathers, golden child brothers and sisters, and our ex-girlfriends and boyfriends, husbands and wives. If you took these very people and gave them power to make decisions on how society is to be run, just look around. People are developing emotional and mental problems at an extremely high rate lately. Why do you think that is? Because just like our parents and any other narcissist out there, one of their tactics is to drive you so crazy you might actually become crazy, so they can take control over your life. My only two suggestions to Britney is to work out her tics and problems she likely picked up from her parents, and to do what she said she wants to do in the cutting off of her parents' process. And that is to find God. I believe there are more famous people that watch channels like these than we know. They don't comment. They don't subscribe. But they watch. This is why you are seeing people like herself going no contact, and doing their best to figure themselves out. My prayers go out to Britney Spears, as I too know what it's like to grow up without love. With that said, I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.